This is the first part in the Bruder cat compactor conversion series. We'll start off with an unboxing and a short overview of the parts that are needed. So, start off by unboxing this guy. They're always very well packaged. Yeah, there's an extra piece in there, but we don't need that right now. The hard part is always disassembling the model, and they definitely don't make these to be taken apart very easily. Now there's two little thumb screws up in there that attach this cardboard piece to the compactor. Just one thread off of there. In the box there's an extra piece for the drum. We'll get to that later. Knock this off here real quick. Get rid of that. So that is the Bruder toy as it comes out of the box. It's pretty simple. And an engine cover with an engine in there. The way I do these, you lose the engine. Well, you can see up in there, but that's the engine. Makes it nice for being able to put the battery in it and take the battery out of it without having to completely disassemble the whole thing. So you can keep the blade. I choose to lose the blade. I take the blade off just because it less stuff to have to deal with. So that just pops off of there. It's a little clip-on piece. Hopefully you all can see that. And then on the underside, I use one of these little picks with the angle one. Just pry up into there a little bit. Pry into the bottom of it, and it pops right out. Get a better view on this one. If you choose to use the blade, that's your choice. I don't. Really. Just overcomplicates things because I've never actually seen one in real life that has the blade on it. So one thing you can do if you want to go for just a basic roller, these pieces come off. I've tried filling the drum full of various different things. Everything kind of makes it hard to move. So I'm gonna machine a piece of metal to go inside of mine. That should help out with that a little bit. So let's see where to start. Up under the underside, there's these. Let's see, there's 6 of them. 6 tabs to hold it together. You can take this off by, if you pull the outsides out, you can just take that right off. It's not attached very hard at all. Let's see. It's been a while since I did one of these. They're definitely not the easiest in the world to do. And this tool isn't going to work how I wanted it to. So I will be right back when I get a screwdriver. Should have been more prepared. It's just kind of a spur of the moment thing. If I remember right, this guy on the bottom is a major pain to get out. Okay, there we go. So down in here, oh, I kicked the tripod. If you break this little tab off, there's another tab where you can twist this way and push the tab back, and it makes it so that you can pull the drum assembly off. And then you're left with just this part. Zoom you guys in a little bit. Alright. See if we can pull this off with the tools I got with me. Pop that out. Pop that one out. That comes loose. And down in here. Pry to the outside. Well, that'll make it easier. It's back here behind the cab. And there's two little tabs that you can kind of pop back. They will make a crackling noise and sound like they're breaking, but it will help you disassemble the model. And then up here under the front of the windshield, some more stuff that sounds like I'm breaking it, but I'm not. Can take the top half of the cab off. See if I can get the back undone again. Alright, this is kind of hard to see. The hardest part with these models is always the disassembly. So there's the cab. It comes off. There's a tab here up in the front that you kind of have to pry out a bit. And then these two tabs in the back, which are a little fragile. I don't think I broke it too bad. And I know I am not very good at showing what I'm doing here, so down here, these two holes, there's little plastic tabs that if you use the right tool, you can pop them out of the way. I think we got it now. And the engine and the bottom of the cab come out in one piece. There's also a fake little, I think it's an oil filter or a fuel filter, they put right there. Next step is pulling the wheels off of the axles, which they're pressed on there. I can't really show you that very good. I typically place one side under my foot and pull up really hard on the other side. And sometimes they actually pop up. There we go. You can pull the tire off the axle. You need to throw that away. I mean, if you want to 3D print out some holders to be able to hold those tires on the axle, you can. I choose not to. I print out my own wheels. So that is as far as it needs to be disassembled. Next video we will be doing some cutting. I'm going to cut almost all of the engine out of there. I leave these tabs and the outside piece here. Other parts that you'll need for this, and we'll have links to the Thingiverse files where I uploaded the files for the 3D print. I used two of the RC 4-wheel drive mil-spec ZXL tires. They're the 1.9s. They're almost exactly the same height as the stock ones, and they're really close to the same width. That's the only reason I go with these. I've seen other people use, I believe they're called the mud plugger. They're a little narrower. So these wheels, I 3D printed. I designed them to go specifically with these tires. They fit them really good. Then these hubs that go in the wheels have a pretty heavy offset to them so that they don't stick out too much further than the original ones do. You'll need, I think these are 16 millimeter 3M screws. You will need 20 of them if you're using these wheels. You need 20 of them with 20 nuts. And then they bolt together, then your tires bolt on just like the real wheels. You will need a speed control. This is I think it's a Hobby Wing WP 1040 brushed crawler boat speed control. I believe it was $20 on eBay. They work pretty good, they're pretty inexpensive, and they don't take up a lot of space. I also have this no-name brand made in China 5521 MG 180 digital servo. They're way overkill for how light of a video this is. How light of an RC this is. You also need two 25 millimeter, I use 100 RPM gear motors. For this project you will need two of those. Servo parts. I choose to use little JST plugs to connect the motor to the speed control, just so that if I need to pull the speed control or pull the motors, I can. I had an extra old Spectrum DSM SR200 speed control, just can't talk in this video. SR200 receiver to go with my DX4S speed radio. Then these two pieces, they're printout, they bolt together like that, and they actually clamp on to the outside of the motors, and there's a hole in each one of these, I don't know what you call it, pin or whatever, for the wire to pass through. Then you can, I use the two motors and solder them together. I'll show you guys that in an upcoming video. And then those slide onto these motor mounts, or I call them axle mounts, that are also the servo mount. Because the servo bolts directly to one of these, whatever side is facing forward in the model. So it'll bolt down like that. And some spacers that clip on, just for ease of assembly and disassembly. So you don't have to unbolt all of this to be able to pull the axle out. That's basically it for now. In the next video we will deal with, probably do the making of the axle, soldering. The difficult part with that is you have to grind off. I didn't even notice until just now, you gotta grind off this little nub that sticks out the back of the motor shaft, the extra shaft that sticks out the back of it. Gotta grind that off because when the motors are assembled, let's see if I can get this so you can see it too. I solder the opposing terminals together, and that kind of sets your width. So once those two shafts are cut off of there and ground down almost flush, you can solder the motors together with positive to negative on both of them, and then run a wire from each one, and they'll spin the same direction. I'll be able to show it better than I can describe it, I think. In the next video we will do the soldering and some cutting of the frame here to be able to fit all the pieces in. These just kind of slide right down in here. Looks like I need to do a little trimming on them. Might have to sand them, file them down a tiny little bit to make them fit perfect. It's like for some reason their printer oversized them a tiny bit. So that is it for now. Hopefully that didn't confuse anybody too much. It's really difficult to take these models apart. They don't design them to be disassembled. They're designed really well for children to not be able to break them apart, which does not help out adults trying to take them apart. So please like and subscribe and stay tuned for the rest of the build series.